We're going to start with the base of the explosion box. You need a 12 by 12 sheet of paper. I didn't make a cut file for this because you can't use the whole 12 by 12 paper, and you need your box to have a 4-inch base if you want the cake to fit in it. So all you have to do is score it at 4 and 8, which I've already done. I've already cut it too. You're going to turn it and score it at 4 and 8 again. Let me turn this over so that you can see, hopefully better. Sorry about the shadows. Hang on, let me see if I can get rid of some of that. I don't know if that's any better or not. It might be worse. But anyway, all right, so you're going to have this. It's going to be scored. Can you see it? It's just a grid. You're going to remove the 4 outer corners, which I've done one. Now you could just take your scissors and cut along there, but I like a neater cut. So if you have one of these old slide trimmers, that works really well. Like I said, you can use scissors, but that's just not neat enough for me. Although this one is so dull, I have to be careful or I tear it. And just slide down to 4. And go down to the bottom. Go to 4. Pull that out. I'm going to turn it the other way. I really can't see my lines. The lighting's... I should have done this morning. The sun was much better. And then down here. Take out the corners. Oh, I didn't do one. Put that back in. Sometimes when I do some of the steps ahead, it gets confusing when I try and do it for the camera. Okay, so then you're just left with this. Pretty easy. You just have to fold your score lines. And that's the base of your box. Like I said, it doesn't get much simpler than that. Then we need to do our lid. And this I just cut a 7-inch square. And then I believe I scored it at 1.5 inches. Let me just double check. Yes, I did. So just score it at 1.5 and then 5.5 and then turn it. So you have your same thing right there. And then for these, I cut right from the edge to the intersection. Then I also cut a little wedge out. That just makes it fold better. I haven't done it on this side yet. I'll show you. Just here on the little flap, I've already cut it from the edge to the intersection. And then I'm just gonna take a little piece out. That just makes it so it goes together a little bit easier, like that. Move our score pal. Okay, once again, we just need to fold all of our lines. Need to put adhesive on our tabs. I like to put 2 rows just because it's a bigger tab. I put one close to the fold and then one just a little bit farther over. And you just have to fold it in. Okay, and there's your lid. Okay, these are the pieces that you need for the cake. This is from the, I believe it's Sizzix, but I'm not positive, the pop-up cake file. This is not the die. This is a cut file that was made by Maureen Wong on the Cricut message board. Unfortunately, right after she posted it, she ran into all sorts of copyright issues. So she just removed the file to avoid any headache or hassle. I think it was unfair. I don't think this die was the first pop-up cake. Everybody copies everything. She wasn't claiming credit for it. But anyway, that's another story. That's all I'm going to say. I do have the file. I downloaded it before she removed it. And I do have her permission to share it. And that's all I'm going to say. But anyway, here's your pieces, whether you got them from the cut file or the die. These are your 3 cake tiers. This is your center support post. And these are your decorator paper strips. Now, there is a cut file for these, but you can also just cut strips. They're 7/8 inches wide. The long one is 10 3/8. The middle one was 8 3/8. And the short one was 5 7/8. I'll try and remember to post those measurements, either edit them onto the video or on my blog, but I might forget. But you just need it long enough to go around. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with this middle piece. And there's some Little notches cut, and there's also score lines. You need to fold the score lines in. This isn't hard to do, it's just a little, you have to fiddle with it a little bit. Whether you're doing the cut file or the other one. Then, let's see, what should we do next? Okay, you need to fold your score lines that are on here. You probably can't see them on camera, but they are there. And you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and put my adhesive on now because I think it will be easier. I'm going to put 2 rows of adhesive along each tab. I may stick to it as I put it together, but I've done a couple of them and I think it'll be a lot easier this way. If you're actually making the pop-up one, I would recommend using sticky strip, but if you're just gonna make the 3D one that doesn't have to fold flat and open up, I think the ATG gun is fine. I can't talk today. All right, so you've got this folded in, you're gonna thread your circle onto this. And like I said, it's a little tricky. You might wanna cut your center hole in your cakes just a little bit bigger. Okay, there's, got it over one. Get it down. Okay, can you see that? It's just to that first stop. Then you can open out this flap. Okay, I just realized that I was thinking, oh, I can cut the base of this out of white. It's not gonna show, but duh, the top is gonna show. Usually I use a solid color that coordinates with my pattern paper. Wasn't thinking, but I'm glad I thought of it now. That's what the pause button is for. I just went and quick, I cut circles this size. I think it was just over 3 in the middle one. But if you use a coordinating paper or a pattern paper, you don't have to worry about that. But what I'm gonna do to fix it is I'm just gonna glue this on or adhere it. I'm just gonna put some tape on it. Just added another step for myself. I'm good at that. I do stuff like that all the time. All right, so now I'm just gonna thread that on just like I did the piece that has the flaps. Sorry about that. Sometimes I just don't think things through far enough. Thought I was being, using my paper wisely. Now I'm not gonna be able to get this one on. Okay, there. Now we can open that flap back out. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead, I think, and put this circle on now. Then I only have to thread it once. So sometimes my brain kind of works. Just wanna line up. I did cut a slit just in the middle of this. Try and get them roughly in the same spot. Okay. Now I'm gonna fold on the little score marks. Boy, I can't hardly see them on this one. There's one. These are really, I should have had my blade depth a little bit deeper maybe. Okay, then 2 strips of adhesive down there. There is probably a better way to do this, but this is just how I've done it. Okay, we'll slide number 2 down, open up the flaps, and we have one more to go. I am not gonna put the colored circle on this one yet, but that's by plan because I'll show you when I get to it what I was doing with that one. One of these score marks show up fine. Okay, we need adhesive on this. Like I said, there are other videos online about how to do this. Probably that explains it a little better than I'm doing, but I thought I would just, I had a lot of people ask, so I thought I would just show it. Okay, now what you're gonna do is this little flap, can you see this one? It just tucks into the center and glues down. Need to do that with the other. See, I've got all my adhesive on, I'm gonna glue them all to each other. Just tuck that into the center and then down. And you're just going to tuck this one. Can you see what I'm doing? Just into that center post and let it glue down into the center post. And then, well, actually this, hang on. I have another little square of white paper somewhere.